Well, hello, everyone. Happy pre-4th of July. And we're just hanging out. I just got off the phone with Tim and Hannah. I was talking to them for a minute and figured go live like I do typically every Monday night around 8 o'clock. A little bit late, but I was on the phone. And, just slumming, got the old blue t-shirt on and hanging out. So good to see everyone. Who do we got tonight? We got start at the top here. We got Todd, we got Grayson, Ed, Sun Bunny, Randy, we got Darren, Rex, and Robert and Chris. Good to see everyone. Hope everyone's doing well. Yeah, still got hot bees. I was working today. After I got off work, I started, hey, Randy, in DC, I started moving some double 5 frames into single deeps and then put a, drawn super on them. So hopefully that gives them a little kick to start repairing the comb at least, and then maybe expanding a little bit. So I'll probably leave those in a 1.5 deep. And then just put the feed to them and let them go. If they got 1.5, that's probably how they're going to stay. And hey, Hope, good to see you. Just doing the thing, just trying to get everything organized and arranged, freeing up. I've got some small colonies that I just can't seem to get to grow. So I'm probably going to end up doing something with those. Whether it's taking one of those nukes and thanks, Danae, and start, trying to probably smash that queen, merge those in with a stronger colony and, like do a paper combine type of deal and try to get them to work it out and work that way. But other than that, I didn't really have a big topic, just a bunch of hot bees today. And, a lot of people are taking advantage of the sale on the website, which I appreciate. Hey, Spanky, good to see you. And JNDS, I always forget your first name. 4 for 6. Okay. And, just working things out like that. Really, like I said, didn't have a big agenda to talk about, but if you guys want to come in, the link is pinned. Definitely, oops, hold on. I'm trying to, some reason my chat box over there is looking kind of crazy on YouTube, but okay. And, if you want to come in and hang out and talk bees or talk whatever, just click the link. It should be pinned. Is it pinned? It is pinned. So just been hot. 90s. It's supposed to rain tomorrow, so it should cool things down later in the evening. So should be decent. Let's see what it's supposed to be tomorrow. High of 96. Ugh. And it's supposed to rain, what they were saying, around 5. Well, it's not only high at like 14% chance. So I'm not banking on that too much. So that's kind of crazy. But Jack. Okay, Jack. I got to remember that. And, they said it was going to rain, but it does not look like it. I mean, 14% chance is not a big one. Hey, Lisa, not a big chance there. So if you guys want somebody click in, I don't know if what Charlie's doing. I know that a lot of people are still pulling and spinning honey. Which I get. Man, I got a lot of YouTube notifications all of a sudden on my phone. And that's supposed to clear them. There we go. Good. But the hey, Stuffy. But yeah, it's been pretty amazing. We've people taking advantage of the sales. If you got your order in up until this morning, I only have one order left to ship out of everybody that ordered on the website, and they didn't order till later, so it won't go out till day after tomorrow because the mail doesn't run tomorrow. So, but I've got it packed up, ready to go. Simple answer is I missed the Virgin, the failed nuke, and she flew back to the old location. Yep, it happens. Yeah, I know. Todd, I know. It went out today, though. It did go out today. I can tell you when it's supposed to be there. Let's see. Let's see if I can see when it's supposed to be there. Let's see. Todd. Let's track that. It says it's in transit. That's what it says. Estimated delivery the 10th. So it is on the road again. Let me see. One of those she can't get out. I grabbed her. Trying to read the chat as it's coming by, so apologize for the delay. Waiting on the rescue squad, man. Waiting for someone to click the link and join in here. I don't know what's going on with my YouTube tonight. Default view, that's what we want. I don't know. I must click something. And that way I can see all the chat and what you're seeing at the same time. Smaller plastic ones and got her again. I've got so some of those bees are just like really hot. And if they were outside chilling on the front of a colony, like bearding, they don't like to be, when they're bearding, they don't like to be messed with too much either. I'll tell you that. So but the funny thing is, once I moved them to a bigger box, even though technically it's the same amount of frames and everything, they started walking inside. So, I mean, it worked out so far. And hopefully that keeps them in there doing something instead of hanging on the outside. I don't know if Charlie's going to come live tonight. I don't know what's going on tomorrow. I haven't talked to Lee, so being the 4th of July, I don't know if he's got plans or what going on over there. Kenneth is trying to come in. Kenneth, how's it going?
Hey, it's going good, Bob. How about yourself?
Pretty good. Looks like you're out in the honey house or in the bee shed, or see your jacket behind you there.
Cleaning frames, and where you at? Yes, sir. Cleaning frames. Where you at?
Cleaning?
Having a frames and having a adult beverage.
Hey, you drink the same ones I drink. The champagne of beers.
There you go.
Where are you located at? Somewhere down here by us,
Drink
evidently.
the best. That's it. It's good stuff.
Where
yeah.
Where are you located at?
Oh, I'm in a little town called Red.
You break.
One goes by.
You break it. You're breaking up on me. Might have lost him. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, looks like we got a bad connection.
There you go. Oh, there you went. Well, see if you can get that thing fixed and come back in and see me. There he goes. He had to drop. So come on in. Click the link. Let's talk about it. Adult beverage. Look at that. That looks like a good idea, actually. I don't know what Charlie's doing tonight. See if I can coax him over here. Oh, see Kenneth is trying to come back. There you go. Got you back now. Now, where are you located at? I don't know if you can hear me. I don't think you can hear me. We're trying to get this figured out, guys. So when you come into StreamYard, you got to watch it through the StreamYard app and not the YouTube app. You got to close the YouTube down and watch it through the StreamYard because it's live time on that. Let me see. Let's see here. Oh, okay. Where'd you say you were located at? Just sent Charlie a text. All right, so Kenneth, I don't think it's working tonight, bud. All right, so he is having technical difficulties over there. But what you guys doing in the bees tonight or today? Sent Charlie a text. There he is. Here he comes to save the day. Kenneth was just on here. I think that's Stuffy. And but his connection was kind of freezing up on him and stuff. So
who was that?
Yeah, Stuffy. Stuffy was just came in. It's good to see him. I was trying to ask him where he was from and everything for everybody, and it just kept freezing up. But hey, Stuffy, enjoy that champagne of beers you got going on there for the 4th. And
hey, Lisa and Randy.
So what you been up to, Charlie?
I finished up honey today. So I am done.
Finished.
I am finished. Everything has been extracted in the bucket. Bees are cleaning up the last, I don't know, 6 boxes of honey, or supers of honey.
I started taking 5/5s and moving them to single 10s with a medium on them.
Yeah, did they attack you?
Hell yeah, they did. You didn't see my short?
I haven't seen nothing today. I was in and out.
I will play it for you. So, it is very hot. We don't really have a flow going, right? So that makes any crankiness even more.
Oh, yeah, I mean, when I put them supers out there, I mean, it was just a cloud of bees. I did that one little short of that one. If you put 4 or 5 of them out there, man, they're like crazy.
All right, so I'm gonna add this to the stream here and play it. So yeah, a couple mean bees. They can probably hear the sound on it. Oh, but what can you do? I don't know, but I had to get home.
That's pretty bad. I mean,
that was a double nuke.
Is that Africanized?
Is
that Africanized?
They're a little upset at me. The ones that are doing that are the ones that came up from Florida. I had to give them a bigger home. So I need to get some queens to requeen those.
Absolutely.
So yeah,
that's pretty bad.
Couple mean bees. But see, now I've got some that upset at me. I've got some other ones that aren't bad. What can you do? But their queens just aren't doing good. They don't like it. I don't know if it's because they just. So yeah, it's some of my queens that I grabbed. Mean bees did not. I think they're a little upset at me. But they're done. What can you do? For lack of a better word, I had to give them a bigger home. So they don't like it's
That's pretty bad. I had my last hive. I had 3 hives with 4 supers on each, I think it was. Anyway, the first 2, you went in, your typical flying around and, a little bit upset, not much. And went in, took the supers off, closed them back up, put an additional 3rd medium back. That's what I run for my winter configuration with the brood frames in it. Closed them up, no problems. I knew, I didn't even light a smoker. That's, no problem. Get into that last hive, and I took the supers off, and I'm not sure, I can't remember, but my neighbor called. He was coming over to help. I said, if you can come over, I backed the truck up to the back porch, which has got a handrail. If you can stand on the truck and then pass the boxes over the handrail to me so we don't have to walk up downstairs, because with my hip. How do I like
your popcorn? Butter, salt, honey?
Buttered with some salt. I buy Pop Secret. But and the phone, I had my cell phone figuring that he would call because that's what he said he would do. And I think he called about the time I was ready to, and I didn't get the box. The box was past the truck at another little hive stand, and I didn't have it right there ready to roll. And I think the bees, they were undone for a while, a few more minutes than what they should have been. And I think maybe a defensive robbing syndrome kind of started. And man, they were hitting me. They stung me in the legs, through my jeans and everything else. I just kept on going. I put the darn super on, inner covered top, and
lumps, huh?
Took the lumps. I usually ratchet strap it all down. And I'm like, the hell with this. I just had to get inside. I slammed the damn. I had put the gate up on my truck, and I have a piece of lumber in there, that goes across the bed, to keep where you can segregate it off, for stuff not sliding around. I had laid that up on the edge of my bed along with this little 1x1 stick. And luckily enough, I got in there to get away from the bees. I drove around the barn and around over to the house, never fell off. And I'm like, that was amazing. And, but they stung the snot out of me.
That's the one that's the one you wish would have fell off the back when they're, at least you'd have a reason to be like, oh man, I lost one. Well, couldn't have been a better one to lose.
Well, no, it was just a piece of lumber. But anyway, I was nice feeling today that I did the last spin. I got everything in the bucket.
I've still got some honey out there, and
so I hit my numbers actually a little bit better than I thought I would go. So my total amount of honey for this year is 960 pounds of honey.
Well, hey, you said between 800 and 1,000. That's exactly where you wanted to be.
Well, last year was 845. Mm-hmm. So I did 115 more this year. Now, last year I had 10 hives, and this year I got 12. I upped the honey production hive area.
Yeah, but they're, those first years, sometimes if it's a real good flow, you'll get good, and sometimes not so much. I mean, mine haven't done great.
Hey, Len.
Someone crushed this guy.
But
oh my gosh.
It's started raining here too.
Why can't I
What? What's all this bullshit?
That's what I'm saying. Trying to ban them, but now it's all the chat is taken up. So sorry, there's always got to be a dummy in the group. Yep, spammer. Sorry, that has nothing to do with anybody in here. That's a bot or something. So thanks, Spanky, for getting on it. Well, look at us.
Huh?
Look at us, Lynn. You can't look worse than us. She said she'll come on another day. Todd, what are you doing, man? Look like you're froze. There he goes. He's unpro.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
No, I must have bad internet today. So I don't know what's going on. It's been all choppy. I'm going to jump out and jump back in.
Okay. Look, it's not even letting him get out. He's locked hostage now. There he goes. But
as far as like my amount of honey, I still had queen issues, and I'm speculating that if there wasn't any queen issues, I knew I kind of thought maybe the drought time, but there a young fella next to me now. Of course, his location's maybe a little bit better than mine as far as forage goes, because he had 1,100 pounds of honey, the one I taught. And I think I'd be in the same right there, 1,100 pounds, if there wasn't any, queen slash forager issues. Because I mean, those hives, the population just kept going down on me, and you don't get the honey crop in because you ain't got the amount of bees. I've learned that one thing over the last 2 years is you got to have a hive that's on the verge of swarming in order to really make you a great honey crop.
Well, I try to keep mine there, but this year, like I said, I started off and I had to split everything I did have, right? That was even doing semi good. I split the crap out of it. And so I'm happy to get where I'm at right now. So hopefully
you're what,
next year,
600? You're what, 600 or better?
No, not right. Not yet. I've only pulled 460 pounds right now, but I still have some out there. I know that it's out there. I just haven't gotten it yet.
I got that kind of honey, Lynn, because I did do the single brood chamber management, but I marked a bunch of queens so I could see them, and 90% of them were either killed or died or something because of that. Every one that I marked was the one that took a hike.
Well, I've got all new queens.
I got all new queens now.
But now some of those ones I need to get rid of, and I need to get queens, but I don't want to, I hate to say it, I don't want to raise my own queens this late in the year, right? So I would prefer to buy some mated queens, but I want to get some good queens. I mean, I bought queens from some people in the past, and be honest with you, it just didn't do that good. It's just whether it was Cutic or
I wonder if Mark's got anything for you.
But I think he stopped. But Mark's are all virgins, so I'd have to let them. They'd have to get mated and all that stuff. And I'm trying to be bam done with it.
Well,
and
I think you should order some from Jose.
Well, last time I talked to Jose, he was like running kind of behind.
Yeah,
he
he's
still
backed
had
up.
plenty of orders, right? So
yeah, he's backed up. But I mean, those bees looked Africanized to me when they're hitting your face like that.
Oh, it's not just the face. That's just what you saw on the camera. They're like tagging you in the butt and on the legs and try to get you in the socks. And
that's no bueno.
So those
I don't have a tolerance for that. I get rid of that queen. I would have pinched her today.
Well, the problem is you got so many bees in your face, and they're so aggressive that you can't even find the damn queen to crush them.
Yeah.
You know, and they don't care about being on the comb. They'll leave that comb as quick as they can, you know. But what I found is if I stood there for a few minutes with the hive open, they kind of did settle down a little bit. And then at least I could finish manipulating the colony over. But I didn't stay in it very long. For sure. I need
There you go.
Probably, I don't know, 10, 15 maybe I could make work. Because I've got a couple 10 frame colonies that are getting ready to get moved back down to 5 frame colonies because they just didn't do anything. And I'll free up that gear and put it on one of my stronger ones. But I need to go through and find those pissy queens and smash them and put a mated queen in there right away so they don't drop off, you know.
You know, I've ordered queens from Jose as late as, oh gosh.
Last year I ordered 25 of them from him like late. I saw on Facebook he had a special deal, you know. But then by the time you pay the shipping from California to here, then there really wasn't a discount, right? It ended up being the same as I could have went down to Cutix and got them if they were here, but they had already moved back to New York by then.
Well, the thing is you know they're well, you don't know where you're getting them, but the thing is with Africanized genetics, he doesn't have any of that up there. I know that for sure. So,
well, the funny thing is all of these bees came from the same person. But the first round were out of Virginia. The second round were out of his bees that came up from Florida. So the ones that came up from Florida, that's what you were seeing today.
Yeah.
The ones that came up from Virginia, they're very gentle. Yeah.
Hot.
So, yeah, they were not happy. And some of it I like to attribute to the fact that there's no flows. No flow going on right now, and I didn't put any feed out for
there might be no flow, but they're not going to be in your face like that.
Yeah, that's a marker for Africanized. They will just, that's the first thing they hit is your head. Yeah.
Oh, and that's after I had already manipulated the colony. Edward.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, Ed. Your dress shirt.
That's work. Leftover work shirt.
And you got your LG Pros on, your LG headset there.
Yeah, mother was charging up, so it's been pretty hot today.
I even thought about ordering some queens from Man Lake.
Hey, Bob. Mark said that he asked how many mated queens you want or you need.
Yeah, I told him probably like 10 to 15 probably would work.
Okay.
Yeah, the bee weaver bees, I hear them suckers are hot too.
Yeah.
They're hot with Africanization.
Well, the whole point is, yeah, I see people say like you can requeen them and that's fine. But being able to spot her with all them bees in your face and trying to get up the back of your jacket. And if I wear the Seracell full suit, they just sting right through that thing. You know, so they got in, I messed around and grabbed my Guardian jacket, the older one that had the hole in the veil. Somehow they found it. Of course, you know, they could find anything, but they found the hole. So I had a couple in there. I got stung once on the side of the head, but yeah, they were not fun. And you know, it's funny, as far as this YouTube thing, I stopped trying to figure it out really, but it just amazes me how I can do a video clip that literally just is 15 seconds with me opening a honey gate and letting the honey run out for just a second. It'll get 4,000 views. But I show a bunch of bees in the face and 23 views or something like that. I'm like, what in the world is going on?
That's called ASMR. People like to watch that honey flow. It's supposed to be relaxing.
Well, it's got
to
49 views.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to figure it out, man. It's too crazy.
Maybe you should spray honey robber on your veil before you go outside.
I've done it before, but I messed around if it gets in your eyes, it's no fun. No fun at all. And it's hitting them, been like, psh, oh, and then I have to go inside and take the veil off and wipe my face down.
Yeah, take it off and spray it, and then put it on. How long would it last if it dries? I mean, isn't it good for a while?
Yeah, it's good for a little while.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's those are not fun bees. Those are the bees that when I know the colony. Matter of fact, I started moving those Saturday.
I'd move them across the street.
I started moving one on Saturday, and I was like, nope. I did the one. It stopped. And then today I did two, and I still got one more that needs to be moved. And I'm like, I thought about taking some of this. See, my thing is when I have a nuke that's a smaller nuke and they're not ramping up, it's a risk because you don't know if it's the queen that's just no good in there or if it's the fact that she doesn't have that much of a workforce. So caging her, killing one queen and caging her and putting her in there doesn't mean that it's going to succeed, right? It just means that there won't be a hot queen in there for the moment. And they could ball the crap out of her as soon as she goes in there too. So that was, it's just, I don't know. Finding her is the biggest issue because it's more time trying to look at, old man eyes, look with sweat through the glasses, trying to find her. So who knows? If I killed all of those that I have, you might as well say I flushed $1,500 down the toilet. You know what I mean? So that's the other thing. Or I could just rob her resources, brood frames and stuff on the mead colonies, get them down as weak as they can with just her right in there.
Mm-hmm.
And then just get rid of that. Kill her, shake them out.
You could end up giving her an attitude adjustment that way.
Well, I've done it before where I've taken a big colony and reduced her down to where she's really got nothing, like one frame to work with. But that's let me see. Would Drycut say sometimes the algorithm makes no sense? You will get a few thousand views on a short that doesn't have but 70% watch average, and half of that averages 120% watch time per view. Yep. That's hey, I just give up on the algorithm. It's just going to be what it's going to be, literally. I picked up the extractor from John today. Guy who had it over the weekend was late returning it. So
yeah, that's in our club.
See? That's why you need to buy your own. You don't have to wait on nobody.
She's got one. She got a lady is selling out. She picked up a Max Ant, I think, power job.
Well, hopefully she got a good price on it.
I think she did.
You talked her into the Max Ant?
No, that's what this woman had. She's moving out of state, and so Lynn got first dibs on it, I think.
Nice.
Anything's better than a hand.
No, Michael, I put open feed out yesterday. I put 20 gallons out, and it was dry by the time the sun went down.
Mine will kill 5 gallons in about 2-3 hours. And I'm at 11 hives now, guys.
You guys still got any kind of flow going down there, Ed?
Nah, I pulled everything. I've been feeding them for maybe 4 days now.
And they're taking it down good?
Yeah, 5 gallons in a matter of a couple hours. I'd make a couple buckets a day.
That's kind of where I'm at. I mean, I can put out 20. Matter of fact, I need to try it. I need to take another toad out there and make 40 gallons and see if they'll take one day. 40 gallons. I bet you they would this time of year. I won't do it tomorrow because if I do it tomorrow, it's going to rain in it.
I'll trade you. I wish we had rain here.
Well, it's the first rain we've had in a while.
It rained here about a half hour ago. It was just pouring.
You had no bees on the open feed? I mean, I had mine out, but I got to look at my channel to see when I did that video. I put that out, what, Saturday? Sunday? I know.
Am I blurry to everybody?
A tad,
right now,
just a little bit.
I know, but what's the problem here?
I put a video out 2 days ago, which would have been Saturday, but then I fed them again on Sunday. So I didn't feed them today, though.
Now it's focused.
Yeah.
Yeah, you look a little better.
I had to move back and forth, and then the camera, I guess, has a automatic sensor.
I thought it was me for a minute.
That's what mine was, Michael. I took one bucket and split it 4 ways and filled it up. Really, really thin syrup. Very thin. And they seem to like it. It's just got a little tiny bit of sugar in it.
So Lynn, she picked up the extractor from the club, which is a hand crank. So I was wondering whether she's already extracted a few frames and like, I can't wait for a power one.
Joe may have some queens. I wonder how much he wants for his queens.
Is he up and running?
Maybe, just the other day, I saw the Fat Bee Man say he had queens for $10 again, but I don't know if those are mated or virgins.
I tried to
probably virgins, but you never know.
I tried to find out where you saw that. I looked on Facebook. I didn't see it on Facebook.
It was on. He posted it, so it was just. Well, let me look. But I mean, $10. Holy cow! You can't go wrong, right?
Is it my glasses are Charlie really blurry now?
Yeah, he's really good.
What the hell is wrong with this damn camera?
You got a Logitech camera?
Did you look under Don Kuchenmeister?
Fancy one.
So 2 days ago, he said, if you need queens, got some $10 each. And yeah.
Bet you those are virgins, probably.
They probably are. But you could call him. He put his number up there, so call him and ask him.
Does he mail?
No, he doesn't ship, as
No.
far as I know.
Who's that, Joe?
No, Fat Bee Man.
Oh. He's in what, North Georgia someplace?
Or Central. He's
He's in Lula, Georgia.
Well, and he has another yard down south.
Lynn says I'm pixeling.
8-bit Charlie.
But look under Bob. Look under his Facebook site, his Facebook page.
It's just Don Kuchenmeister, right? It's just Don Kuchenmeister.
Yeah.
Dixie Bee Supply.
Or that too. But I don't know if he put his cell number down there. Here, I'll send it to you if you want it.
7.2K followers. If you need queens, I got some $10 people.
Is See, that was the whole deal. I was talking to you, Bob, about why I was trying to get that starter finisher made. I figured that people late season. Last year, I thought I had queen problems, and I didn't know jack really. Because I was just starting, and so I thought I had queen problems. Started looking for queens, and I couldn't find any late in the season. Around between September and October. And so I started that cell builder, and the bees changed my plans because I built it, had it set up, just getting it started, letting them go like a week before I start doing anything with them, and
right.
with that cloak board, and I went over and checked the little new. I said we're about ready to go with another hive was what I was thinking. So I was looking through it. First frame I pulled out had five queen cells on it. I said, all right, so I'm gonna have to split it. We started going through it, and almost the last frame, they had another 7 on it. I'm like, well, crap! Now I got to split it twice.
And you saw the queen in the box?
Yep.
Are they swarm cells or are they supersedure cells?
They're in the middle of all of them were in the middle of the frame.
So they're trying to supersede her.
Were they sealed? I guess they wouldn't be sealed if she was still there.
They were all capped.
Huh.
And
They're
cut them
all
out,
capped.
put them in an incubator, and hatch them.
I tried that. One, and I killed all 7 of the last ones. I tried that way. They didn't make it.
Well,
So,
the main thing, I mean, hey, if it works for you where you're at, good. But what I was trying to say the other night, I wasn't trying to talk crap. What I was trying to say,
I know you weren't.
I've done that before and had, because of the time of year where the queen starts to slow down a bit, you have a hard time to get those built strong enough for the winter season. And if you don't get them strong enough, then what you have a problem with is hive beetles, wax moths, stuff like that messing you up. And I learned it the hard way because I had split just like you're doing. Oh, queen cells, let's make a split. Queen cells, let's make a split. And I learned over a few years, queen cells, let me smash them down, or smash them all down except for 2 and let them go ahead and supersede that queen that they're trying to. There's a reason why they're trying to get rid of her, whatever it is. I don't know. But that's kind of the mentality that I started trying to take, is to keep my hives stronger, make stronger splits to try to make sure that they ensure they make it. Because if you start just split because you got queen cells all the time, like I was doing, it can be successful. I mean, hell, that's how Barnyard Bees does it. But he never shows you the ones that don't make it, right? He only says, you can take a frame and put it over here, and voila, you have a queen in this much time, right? So you never hear him say that, this one didn't make it, let me put that back together or something like that. So just have that.
Well, I've also learned though too, when I've done the split so far this year, if I have a minimum of 3 frame of brood, count it, guys. That's counting the one with the queen cell on it, and one frame of good food in a blank frame in a 5 frame newt. They've all grown with a couple months. They're all ready for a 10 frame box.
Right.
So I've not cut them hard.
It can work. I'm just keep an eye on them is all I'm saying. Keep your eye on them because it only takes. Them beetles are gonna give you.
In my mind, last year I only had to keep two hives last year, and I did good over the winter. Now I'm up to 11, so I'm in my mind I'm expecting potential loss of a hive or 2 maybe this year. Because I've not had this many hives to contend with. So if I do the same thing I did last year, kept them fed.
Well, that's why right now I'm trying to kind of position myself for the winter at this point, even though winter, I mean, we don't have that much of a winter to begin with, but we got, and it's hotter than fire outside right now, but there's no forage really, right? So it's hard for them to grow when there's no forage and there's no pollen for them to get. So just keep all that in the back of your head there when you're building.
You know, going back to the queen cells, I had great success this year on scraping those off of foundation. I didn't think it could be done.
That's what I've done.
Yeah, it's what was it? Gus Mitchell. You look at his video on doing that. It works. I've had several hives that I've started with one of those queen cells that I scraped off of foundation. But I'm choosing only the swarm cells, not the supersedures or emergency cells. Just the ones at the bottom.
Right.
But it works. And the way that he shows you how to do it, it didn't make sense to me at first, but then I watched it 2 or 3 times and I figured out, oh, okay. And yeah, there's nothing to it. So I'm thinking, well, hell, maybe I should just make a hive, you know, start to throw swarm cells and, you know, get 10 or 12 off of one hive or something, you know. Yeah. Those are the best.
What's that? Were you scraping the swarm cell off the foundation and then putting it on another frame or transferring it?
You could. It depends on how much comes off. If there's a big kind of blob of it, you could hang it between the cell bar or the top bars, or you could put it in one of those protectors and put it on the face of the comb. Or
what I do is I'll take my finger and just push in the thing and make an indentation.
Correct.
And put that cell in there and just kind of squeeze the comb around it just enough to stick it there.
Yep.
And within so many hours, they'll glue that thing right in there.
Yeah, and I did it all those ways, and all of them work. And like I said, there are swarm cells that the bees made. Those are the best ones that you could get, better than what we could do.
Right. Especially the swarm cells, because they've actually chosen that larva from the beginning and built her out. Sometimes emergency cells aren't that great.
Now, Phil there, if he gets himself on them tapping planes like I got, he wouldn't be out there scratching so much.
Hey, Phil, did you see I put my...
What'd you say?
Hey, Charlie, can y'all hear me? I'm on this mic. You have the plane that drags down? I want to do one of those.
I don't go that way. I go across the frame, like 4 strokes. And the uncapping plane, where you know how they always talk about you want the wax built out past the frame, which it's the easiest to undo. But with a uncapping plane, it will cut with the contour of the wax.
Yeah.
And I can it'll do better than a hot knife. I don't have really a whole lot of experience with a hot knife, but hot knife is, you know, if it's below or if it's right at the same height as the frame bars, the top and bottom bars, I don't think the uncapping knife will cut that. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But with the plane, I can go zip, 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 zip. And
you go from the top bar to the bottom bar, right?
I stand that frame up just like he's doing, and I go across towards me. I pull it towards me. It don't matter whether it's the top bar, the bottom bar. I just turn that thing around and stick it back into my frame holder and keep going. I pull it across and then I dump, because it'll have a sheet that wide. Well, it'll be about 5 inches wide, and it'll be the width. If it's a nice sheet, or if you can start from one side to the other, it'll be the width of that frame. And I just let it kind of scrolls up in that little cup on that thing, and then I just turn it over and it dumps into the uncapping tank. I don't know. I mean, and it's only the thickness of maybe a piece of paper towel.
And was yours the heated one or just the regular?
Oh yeah, heated, absolutely. The only bitch I have about it is it's a Max Ant. I bought it. I was a guy I bought out. He was part of the package, he said that one he liked that better than the. I got a couple of capping knives, and the only complaint that I have is it needs a rheostat on it. It does have an on and off button, but it'll start if you're getting sidetracked a little bit. I mean, I'm talking a minute or so. A thing will start to heat up, and you'll start seeing the smoke come up off of the hot iron where the honey's starting to caramelize or burn. And you gotta shut it off, but you can keep on running it because it's so hot.
Mhm.
And but then it gets to the point where it's just not quite hot enough to really make it slide through that wax really easy. And that's where if we had a rheostat on that thing, I know that Brian from Flower Street told him at Pierce, he says, you make one of these with a darn rheostat box, I'll buy it. And I'm like, you know what? I'll be right behind you buying it too. But I like the uncapping plane. It just, you know, I'll use a scratcher like he's got there. If it's really tight in the corner, I can even like if it misses like along the top edge on the end bar, I can turn it up on its angle and that little knife I can hook it and get that out of there. You know, you can do little detail work with it too. But then and then the only thing that I've noticed is, and I don't know what it is, it's like the honey has like a film on it as it's done. Maybe it's too hot. Maybe there's like a little bit of a wax film left on that honey. And what I normally do is take a capping scratcher and just kind of rake everything. I kind of rake any little fine particles off of it too. And
that's what I do too.
I just rake it just to rake it and to kind of break up.
I think it's just a really thin layer of wax that kind of just resealed it, you know. But I see that too, and I have a Pierce uncapping knife, and it happens.
Hey, Philip, did you see I put my number on that comment for you to give me a call?
Oh, no, I haven't looked at it. I'll give you a call back.
Yeah, give me a call tomorrow or whatever when you get a chance to look at it.
Okay.
What kind of is that Vivor extractor, Phil?
That's the Vivor.
Hey, Bob, I'll probably put that video on like a private link and send it to you just so you can see what I was talking about.
All right. I did talk to Tim. He said he didn't spray it in the colony. He only sprayed it on the outside of the colony. He hadn't sprayed any on the inside yet.
Yeah, I was just doing it on a few boards.
What dances like all of them?
Just to wiggle at, you know, jiggle it just a little bit.
If you don't dance, something's wrong.
Hell, that's going to sling out of there.
Now that's a full frame of honey right there.
Need to cut that up and put it on a plate.
Yeah, he could probably sell that for combed honey.
Chunk honey right there.
All of this it's not kept at all in these areas.
Yeah, well, that's good. You could put it out in chunk honey for that and then fill it up with that's what Cayman does, is what he said last night.
I don't think that would survive being in the extractor.
That you'd be surprised that monofilament holds it in there pretty good.
Yeah.
So this box of honey was kind of a bonus because I pulled everything I thought I could, and I was going back, and I was
I don't think your mic's working. Sounds like you're far away from your mic, and I know that thing usually picks up pretty good.
Is it working now?
No, it sounds like you're coming through your camera and not through your microphone.
Yeah, I got another one.
Really good looking pictures. Really good looking pictures.
So I had pulled all my honey, and I was going around picking up the. I've got a bee on my neck. You can't see that.
It's a bee on your neck.
Yeah.
It's right there. Now it's fell off, and now it's down your neckline there.
All right. It's all right. It's not trying to sting me. So I
Yeah.
pulled my honey, and I was going around lifting all the hives because I was going to feed anything that was light. And I got to one that was just a 1.5, and I had just put the half on it this spring, and it was all empty frame. And I picked it up and I went, "Oh my God, that's heavy!" So I opened it up and looked, and this is what I got out of it. Was what you guys are seeing me do right now. It was, probably 2/3 full of honey. So I said, "Yeah, I'm taking this." And I left them a couple of frames. A couple of them had some drone brood in it, so I left those two and put in some more empty frames. This is the bonus. This is big. What you're saying is I wasn't expecting to get honey up there. It's kind of the accident toward the end of the day.
Look like Spanky taking notes.
Spanky got himself a new tractor. You see his tractor behind him?
That ain't a tractor. That's a baby tractor.
No,
that's
like a
Simplicity.
Yeah, boy.
I had one.
It was like a 1960 something Simplicity.
59, yeah.
59.
Got tractor tires on it.
Got
wheel weights.
That's what they call.
Is that a pulling tractor there, Spanky?
You can buy implements for it, like the tiller, plow, and stuff like that. If you're lucky enough, you can find the rare forklift attachment.
That'd be worth some money.
Hey, Charlie, there was a Hive lifter for $1,000 in Hickory, North Carolina. Randy,
really?
Yeah, Randy. I think it was Hickory.
That's where my cousins live. That's just half hour down the road from Spanky's house.
I told Bob, I said you should buy it and then charge Charlie a little extra.
And
he said he wanted to make a video out of it.
I said I would have got it and made a Hive lifter video and tagged Charlie, and then he'd be like, "Doggone, he done bought him a Hive lifter."
Where was that at? Where was that at?
I think it was on Facebook, wasn't it, Spencer?
In the marketplace, yeah. They also had all kinds of stuff on there. On them Veals and Barns. And
I've seen a lot of those. Let me see if I can find it. It was such a good price. It probably sold already, but it was the electric one, not the hand crank one. I don't know why they're getting rid of it. But it was $1,000. I'm like, Charlie, probably buy that for $1,000 instead of the $1,500.
See, Bob, you could have offered Charlie that for $1,500, made it easy 3, and he would have thought he got a deal.
It's
what's it called? Buy, sell, trade.
I'm not sure where it was now.
You talking about the marketplace, the Facebook marketplace?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
Let's see.
That's where it was. Yeah, I just went on there and typed in. I think it was honeybee.
Honeybee equipment for sale. Maybe. There it is. It's in Candler, North Carolina. $1,000.
Where's that
Looks
at?
good. He's got 4 supers loaded up on it.
What's he got it listed at?
$1,000.
No. Hive lifter.
There it is, right there. I got it on the screen.
All right, let me see.
Honeybee Hive box lifter.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's the one that that's the A model, I guess you'd call it.
Cash, no codes, no texting, porch pickup only. I live in Candler, North Carolina. This is for lifting honeybee boxes. There just wasn't a category for it.
Hmm.
Look at all them boxes in the back over there. You see all that stuff back here? It's like he's got a house. It's like a rental house that's just loaded down with bee stuff.
Maybe he got a better hive lifter.
That's $500-$600 cheaper, but you'd have to drive and get it. Mary Jane Schuler's got it. Apparently, she's got 74 friends on
Do they
Facebook.
make those adjustable for 10 and 8 frames, or is it just a 10 frame?
I think it does adjust the side. I don't know exactly how it works. Hickory.
Oh, they're shooting off fireworks.
Tar Heel says he can't use it. He don't have any level ground to use it.
I still can't find it.
Just go to Marketplace.
I've got the I'm Marketplace. I found,
And
okay.
I just put honeybee, all smashed together equipment for sale, and it came up right after that.
Well, I got Honeybee Hive Box Lifter, Chandler, North Carolina.
Candler, or Candler. Yeah, you ain't kidding. They're shooting them off over there.
Get shot at.
They were doing that around here last time.
No, I don't see anything.
Hold on, Charlie. I'll get you a link, brother. We can do this. It'll be in the we'll put it in the private chat for you. There you go. You got a link now.
If it's in the private chat, I'm going to buy it first.
You're gonna buy it. You're gonna have to drive all the way to North Carolina to pick it up.
Hey, Charlie, look what I got. Oh,
Charlie,
that's all right. I'll pick up all that syrup that you won't drive out.
Charlie be taking his 4th of July holiday to make a North Carolina run.
That's Route 40.
Look, he's already looking at the map on where to go pick it up at.
All right, it's west of Asheville.
He's
It's
on
west.
it like white.
It's over by Spanky then.
No, Spanky's lives back the other way.
Spanky's west of Asheville.
No, he isn't. He's east of Asheville and he's north of Hickory. He's in Lenore.
Well, then I don't know my North Carolina geography. That's what that amounts to. But see, there you go. It's probably a 8-hour trip. It's just, if you did James, you could do that. Go down and pick it up in one day.
James don't sleep.
I don't think he does.
So then how you're supposed to talk to this guy if he doesn't text or whatever?
Send him a message on Facebook.
Yep, send him a message.
Just don't ask, is this still available? They don't like that because that's
Yeah. I had to write the guy with the tractor. I told him I was wanting to see it that next day, and then I went down there and I said, "Where are you at?" "Oh, I got too drunk. Hang on, I'll get there."
I got too drunk.
That guy was a character. I'll tell you what. He didn't have no shoes on. He'd been bitten by a copperhead 2 weeks earlier, and he's walking around where he got bit with no shoes on. He was a character.
Yeah, it's 12 hours to go there.
12 hours? It only took you 8 hours.
One way?
Life. Or 6 hours each way.
No, it's about 12-hour drive from my house.
That's impossible.
From
Hey,
where I
check
live and go down 81
Oh, you're going the wrong way. I'd probably go
Or
down 95 and then cut across across the state that way.
Check that chat, Charlie. Tar Heel said send him the money and he'll pick it up and bring it to Hive Life and meet
Well,
you.
there you go.
I might
Charge
have
you
to
a
go.
finder's fee.
See, but Charlie's a family-owned business. He could just call his brother and be like, "I'm not going to be to work on Thursday. I'm driving down to North Carolina, picking up my hive."
And if he does that, Bob, then you could ask him to bring some queens down with him, and then there you go.
Meet you in Candler. I messaged Jose. He hadn't messaged me back yet.
He's probably catching right now. He might be listening. I don't know.
And I sent Mark Andrews from Sourwood. I sent him the video of his bees in my face there. He's like, "Yeah, I'm requeening with better genetics." I said, "Well, I need queens. I need some queens." He's like, "Well, I'll bring you some as soon as I get some mated." So he's a road warrior. He likes to ride. There you go. Michael Buck says, "Make a vacation and go to Biltmore House when you go down to pick up your."
Yeah, I've been there.
You've been there already?
Yeah.
I have not been there.
If you've never been there, it's something to see.
But has your new hive lifter been there?
No, it hadn't.
Yeah, you can see you got to go get the hive lifter, take the hive lifter on the vacation.
See, Randy lives there. I didn't know that.
What's that?
Randy actually lives in that town.
Oh. How far is Candler from me? Charlie would be pissed if I go by his hive lifter.
That'd be funny.
I don't
And then do a review video on it.
Look what I bought today.
Distance to Candler, North Carolina. 3 hours, 2 hours and 51 minutes.
That's like me
Yeah, go
driving to
down
Atlanta.
just take 81 all the way down to Kingsport, which is, then they take 26 over.
That's all I'm going to take I-26 to 385.
8 hours and 31 minutes, it says.
Blaine says the cost and the cost is a difference in gas and time. Just buy a new one.
$500, yeah.
Why?
then-
How much is it? How much is the new one? 1,500.
$1,500, I think. And I think the thing.
I think the only thing he'd save is shipping.
Yeah, does that include ship?
No shipping.
Well, I don't know. I haven't seen Joseph. Joseph bought one recently.
Who did?
Oh, I did not show the wax puck, but the wax pucks ended up being about. I put 2 of them in my solar wax melter, and I need to go get it out of there because it is full. My tray is full in that licensed solar wax melter now. And you'd be surprised how much garbage was in the cappings wax too. There was a lot of junk in there. I need to find the other tray so I can put that tray underneath it. But yeah, I've got a whole mud pan full of beeswax now, like a block that I can take out. It says 1380 on the website. There's one that's electric and one that's manual too. So.
Where do those ship out of?
They're out of Canada someplace, Manitoba or something.
Well, one of them's out of Canada and one's made in the United States.
Oh.
Let me see. Hive lifter. I'll be glad when Charlie buys one, because then we can finally get the review and be done with it. We've been talking about it for a long time now, Charlie. Let's see.
I know. Here's a beehive lifter. Yeah, that one.
Let's see.
That's a manual piece of junk.
No, but there's a electric one underneath it. But that looks different than the one that's on there. The electric one looks like it does tilt back a little bit. But you said you didn't like that, right? The one that leaned back like that?
Well, actually, this one here is the same one that Brad's got. It's the same one that Brad's got.
He just jumped on too.
Huh?
Brad just
Hey,
jumped
Brad, come on in. Go into the chat. Can he see the comment or the private chat?
He has to come in to see it.
Oh,
You can have
we're talking
Bob
hive
whenever he
lifters,
comes-
Brad.
Whenever he comes back, you can have Bob pull it back up on main screen.
Yeah. There's one on here for sale, just like yours, $1,000. Is that good price or bad price?
Gee, everybody's gone except me and Spanky. Oh,
Charlie disappeared.
everybody disappeared.
They saw me get up. I just went to get
No,
some.
I'm here.
Hey, Bob,
I'm here
pull
too.
that
I'll be back.
Facebook listing back up.
Do I still have it up on Facebook? I got to go back. Hold
To show Brad.
on. I got to find it again.
Because he's saying that that's a good deal.
Yeah.
There it is. Present, share screen, entire screen over here. Boom. And then I'll make it add, and then I'll make it big. That one right there. Well, the ones that I'm looking at don't have that same model on it. They look different. So that's the yeah, he said that looks the same as his. So that must be the Canadian version, right? Full battery operated it says in new condition. I can dispute that, but okay. Where'd Charlie go? Calling the lady? Brad said that looks just like his.
I mean, it looks like it's almost brand new to me.
Well, it says on here, operated in, let me see. I have a honeybee lifting dolly, fully battery operated in new condition, 1,000 cash. No codes, no texting, porch pickup only. I live in Candler, North Carolina. This is for lifting honeybee boxes. There just wasn't a category for it. That's all it says.
Condition used like new.
So, yep, that's Boris Design, built in Winnipeg. I do like the mural on the wall too. It looks good. It's like they got a whole house that's just like bee. Look at that. The hallway.
Look at the window.
The window. Yeah.
I wonder if that might be a bee club and they got a better lifter.
I don't know. There's jars right here. This looks like bottom boards or migratory covers right here.
A whole
This
pile
looks like
of
a bunch of
nukes.
So they definitely do a lot of bees.
Oh.
$13.80 USD from Boris. That's what it says?
Yeah, but then there's shipping.
Yeah, what's Boris's website? I don't know what Boris's site is. But that's a good deal if you can get it that way. Oh man.
It cost you $150 for an overnight stay.
Bee Breeding Center is his site. Bee Breeding Center. Hives Lifter.
The thing of it is, it's shipping. But what about what do they call it?
Customs.
Tax or whatever, customs and shit like that. Taxes.
So B1 is $1,050. That's manual. The B3 is $1,430. The B1 electric is $1,380. So I don't know which model is which. I can't tell them.
And then you got the one like, what's his name has? It's more of a front end loader style.
But that's I don't know. My thing is, if I'm going to spend $1,000 on a manual one,
That's not manual; it's electric, isn't it?
yeah, it's electric. But they got this B. The B1 is manual, right? It's $1,000, $1,050. I'm at least spending the $300 to get the B1 electric.
If it's the B1 electric, if you throw it in the cart, it's showing for me $215 shipping.
Yeah, so
yeah, like
$1,600.
$1,600. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I could share those. What am I doing? Sorry. There you go.
Now, see, the one over here, the B3 is one I've been really looking at.
And that's the B1. Is that the B1 electric that was on that screen? I don't know. Which one do you have?
That's what Brad said. He said
Okay,
it was
the
a B1.
B1 electric is for sale in North Carolina.
Right.
So, I mean, you end up saying, well, you wouldn't because you'd have to go get it, but $600.
Bruce Brown said the B3 cost me $1,650. Thank you, Bruce.
Well, yeah, with shipping. It's only another $50, so why not, right?
I guess that looks like that's still pretty low to the ground right there, right?
Well, it's a different model.
It's got 4 boxes on it too.
See the one on the left-hand side there, the B3, that it's got 4 wheels on it. It's like a front-end loader.
Right.
That's like Mike Berry has. Mike Berry and what's his name out there in Kentucky?
What's the weight range on that B3?
This one?
Yeah.
About 400 pounds, I think. He guarantees
Oh,
4
right.
boxes.
Product details. Lifting height 48 inches. It weighs 60 pounds. This is lifting capacity 246 pounds.
Oh.
That's what James has.
Yeah, I was going to just say that.
That's a Charlie breaking out the old credit card right now as we sit here.
He said cash.
Yeah, but
that's no problem.
You said you want a B3.
Might as well upgrade to a B3. It's only, I mean, if it's $50 difference on the website and you were thinking about buying a new one, I mean, why not, right?
The only thing that,
well, the thing of it is, it would take me 8 hours to get there. You got gas, and then you got the motel room. Motel's going to be, let's say, 150. Well, you got 150 plus what, $75 worth of gas, maybe $50 worth of gas. I mean, I got a minivan. I think that thing would fit in a minivan if it lay everything down, from the front seats back. But time you do all that and add that into the price, you got the same amount of money as you got a brand new one.
Well, you just get Tar Heel to get it. You give him the $1,000 and you pick it up for free at Hive Life.
He said he moved around 4 full deeps of honey with his B1 electric. Brad did.
I don't know. I mean, Brad said something about, it'll work you.
Said, but it's pretty challenging to control it that way. 2 deeps are not bad. But you use mediums, so.
I use mediums, so I can lift, let's say, 3 mediums easy, I would think. Or maybe even 4. What was that?
Blaine wants to know what label place you were using
right now.
I was like Brad said right there, but it's pretty challenging to control at that weight. Well, I can definitely do that.
Yeah, but that's 4 meat. I mean, if you're just doing 2 deeps, it's 4 mediums, right? I mean, it's not, shouldn't be that bad. But hey, I'm trying to spend your money. That's what I'm trying to do right now. Already spent my money. Now I'm trying to spend your money.
Brian says the B1 is steel. The others are aluminum, and it lifts higher and has a higher load capacity.
The B1?
Yeah.
B1 manual. That's not what we want. We want B1 electric. B1 electric. All right.
And Brad said that's correct.
Lifting capacity of 350 pounds.
Yeah.
On the B1 electric.
You say it's steel or aluminum?
The B1 is steel. The others are aluminum.
And that's what this guy's selling is what, a B1, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It
looks like aluminum to me.
Non-spilled, it says non-spilled battery, 12-watt, 20 amp that provides long working time up to 5 days of not recharging.
Blaine said it could lift 3.5 of him.
It says aluminum. It says aluminum on the website, on his website. Just so I'm not.
Well, ask Brad. Brad's got one. Is it steel or aluminum?
I'm telling you what the man's website says. Aluminum frame right there. Right there. Aluminum frame. Maybe that's a change that he made since Brad got it.
So Brad says the B1 is galvanized steel.
This is a B1.
Well, Brad says galvanized steel.
Or maybe he made a adjustment or something in it. I don't know. I only got what the guy's website says. But The last 60 hives, 25K.
What? I just saw that.
25K US or 25,000 pounds.
Yeah. That's
So
416.
That's a big difference, right?
That would have to be doubles.
Let me see.
And on pallets.
Here, I mean, for me, if someone said, "Hey, I'll give you 25K for your colonies," oh, but with honey.
Oh,
Well, that's a whole nother story right there.
yeah. And that's
Yeah, but
25
that's
euros, which is pretty close to US dollar, I think, still.
No, that's pounds he's got there.
Oh, pounds. Yeah, sorry.
Let's see. 25,000 EBP to USD. 31,737 US dollars.
31,700.
Yeah, $400 a hive. But how much honey are you losing to sell them?
Yeah.
So Avery, when I do Avery, I buy the labels off of Amazon and I print them myself. They end up being about 14 cents a piece. If I do U-print, I have to design the label and send it, and they print it and send it to me. Oh, you're gonna buy them? Oh, I thought you were selling them. I mean, it'd give you a boost if you can work them. I mean, if you take 60 colonies, it's 416 pounds a piece, 417 pounds a piece. I don't know what your colonies are going. That's high for over here because, I mean, if you're buying them out of California or something this time of year, you could probably get them for $180 for a double deep right now. Are you going to be getting them? Well, cool. Getting the bees inspected. They got the fireworks going tonight. They've been going for the last several nights, actually.
Yeah, they were.
Yep.
They were shooting them off across the road from me. I don't know, Saturday night, I guess it was.
Still going. All right. Let me see. Nukes and oh, you're just buying them all the way out then. They're going out of business. Yeah, I've been needing to go do a bee removal, but the thing is, it's just too damn hot. And I know I'm gonna have to.
I ain't going up a no damn tree. I can tell you that much.
Well, this is in that 1800s house still that James and us we went to.
Yeah.
But he gave me the gate code, and he even told me I could bring bees and put them out there. I mean, he's got 60-something acres. But, you know, it's one thing when someone says you can bring them out there, and then it'd be another thing if I go there and then the gate code is changed. And all my bees are in their property stuck. But yeah, that's the. Let's see. You guys are talking about labeling over there?
Oh, I just gave him another option.
I want to redesign my honey label.
Well, if you have Instagram, go to miscellaneous 23.
Miscellaneous, like miscellaneous. That's funny.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's see, private chat there. What'd you share over there, Spanky? Oh, you're muted.
That's a big piece of equipment.
Oh yeah, I saw that uncapper, $6,000. It's in Ohio. It's one of those chain uncappers.
You should tell Brian he's going to need it when he gets his 60 hives.
I don't know what kind of I don't know what kind of equipment Sebastian's got for extract. I know he's got some license gear. I don't know what his extraction line's like over there. Oh, Garrison, that's a tricky question. It depends where you're at, brother. I've seen people that get stuff. I look at it, I'm like, damn, I wouldn't pay that much for it. But if you can get it, go for it. Yeah, I should have Chris come up. We can go do that cutout tomorrow. Oh, he does. Matter of fact, he's got metal detectors there. He said you could use them. Just come up and use them. But you got a brand new one. You bring the BVAC, we'll cut that porch out. That's one thing I don't want to really do. That's the only... I would have gone and got it by now, but it's one of those very protected homes. What do you call them when they're like historical houses? And doing a cutout on there and having them repair it. Well, there's that B-man.
That B-man.
That's what it says. Brad, that
Good
B-man.
evening, everyone.
Well, good evening.
You didn't get in trouble, did you, Brad?
Get in trouble?
Well, you were talking about that on your live tonight. The supper was ready and you had to get going.
Well, I was on my way home when I got the text message. Supper's ready. So it's nice to have supper. Nice pork roast and roast potatoes. Beautiful.
We had pulled pork barbecue tonight.
So, yeah. Thanks for catching that live. I just, I was over there. I just had a really great evening over there. It was kind of working slow. I was forced to work slow because I forgot my veil, so I had to just take it real easy.
You wouldn't have worked my
beautiful
temperature.
temperature.
With no veil.
Had a breeze, and it was just gorgeous over there.
I'm in the process of. I'm going to locate some queens here. I got some requeening to do for sure.
Well, that was the other part of my day. Started my day by taking my 27 cells out of my builder, put them in the incubator, and then I did another 30 cell graft, put in the builder, and I stumbled across something that really made me smile. I went over to the zombie hives to get some brood for the builder, and when I pilfered them last, I put in some brand new drawn comb frames in there, and some of those queens have just absolutely pounded those frames right full of larvae. So another week, and I'm going to have multiple frames of brood again I can take out of the zombies.
Nice.
That's really nice to see. some of those queens, you think, gee, can I really get rid of them?
That's
But I got to stick to my guns.
well. Did you see my short today? Probably not.
I've been out all day. I haven't looked at a thing. Yeah,
Well,
no stings, James. I thought I'd get stung before, but no stings at all.
I will do this just for you because James isn't here, so I can do it just for him. He will appreciate this. And entire screen. Add it to stream.
Oh God, man!
That was a double nuke.
I'd give up beekeeping.
Did you get some of my bees, Bob? That's what my bees used to do.
Those are bees that came up from Florida. They are not nice.
Well,
Mine were local.
that's
And
what
the
a crazy
problem
person
that I
looks
have
like
is
right
I
there.
know I need to requeen that colony, but because of that, you see they're like all in my face. It makes it very hard to even find that queen. So
5-gallon pail of soapy water, man. That'd be the end of that.
Way worse than
Move
they are
on.
in Texas.
what'd you say, Phil?
But that's way worse than they are at my place in Texas.
That's
Get 10 or 20 of them doing that. You got hundreds.
and then it's funny because I've been taking for about 3 days. I've been trying to move double 5-frame nukes into 10-frame colonies, and I'll do one, and they'll get like that, and I already know that if I open up another colony, it's just gonna take it's gonna tick them off too, right? So I just I did 2 today, and I got one more to do. So I need to order some queens. I sent Jose a message to see if he's got some, and those will get dispatched. And we're gonna try to find her. But I mean, you just open it up and they just come right at you. So it's not.
The thing of it is, if you kill that queen, are they going to be still aggressive enough? They're going to kill the new queen too. I mean, even though you may leave it for 24 hours or 48 hours,
they're still going to be probably hot. I mean,
no, I'm talking about the way they would react to the new queen.
Probably at least 45 days, right? I mean,
well, I understand about the
they
work
might ball her, but I mean,
well, that's what I'm talking about. I mean, can you actually?
The only other option I could have is to kill her, drop in a frame with eggs on it, let them raise one off another queen, and then they'll die off over the next 3 weeks, right? While the new queen's getting hashed out and flies out and probably gets picked off by a dragonfly.
Well, that's no worse than killing them because you're down the colony, right?
What'd you say, Phil?
That's no worse than killing them because you're still going to be down a colony. If you just euthanize them.
Well, the problem is it's not just one, right? So I would basically be pissing away $1,500 worth of nukes. So
like that.
What's that?
All of those you got from that place are like that?
Okay, so I bought 2 sets. The first set came from Virginia. The second set came up from Florida. The second set that I got out of Florida are like that. The first set was not like that at all.
Yeah.
We had this talk, Bob.
Yeah, I know. I'm the same way, though. It's like until you get in them, there's no problems, right? There's no problems with them until you open them up. And then that's when all the problems come. So,
inside joke, but I'll let the cat out of the bag. Bob messaged me, he got these Florida bees, and I just messaged back, oh, the AHB from Florida. And he said, no, they're all gentle, they're all good. And I said, they're small still.
Yeah.
So, hey, Brian, Castle Hives.
Oh, Brian.
So I feel a little bit of I told you so happening.
Oh yeah. Well,
Maybe
sure. Are you at your place, Brian?
Or are you up at Ian's?
You're muted.
That's
Your mic's not working.
pretty good looking flag there, Brian. What's going on?
He's defecting.
There we go.
He's defecting.
Are you a Maple Leafs fan?
Look at that. See, look at that. Ian Stepler. Even autograph.
Oh, you got an autograph flag from the man.
See?
Good for you.
See?
Now you have to send it off to like one of those. What's the company where they grade it and verify the signature?
It is on loan.
It's on loan.
Uh-huh. It's on loan. So I had to pop in just for a second because I saw Brad on here and I'm like, oh, I'm representing, eh?
Right on, eh? Brian, I got a question I want to ask you, and I put you on the spot maybe, but
What's that?
your channel name Castle Hives. What's Castle about Castle Hives? Can you tell me that?
Castle is my mother's maiden name.
Okay.
So, and
That's
all the
cool.
hives are at her place. So, Castle Hives.
Very good.
Yeah. Yeah. There we go. Let me move you over here. Let me see here.
Did the
There we go.
So you've been going out of town a lot, Brian?
A little bit, yeah. I've been crazy busy. So I'm going to spend the first part of my 4th of July tomorrow checking supers just because I know I'm like behind on checking stuff. So,
Well, hopefully they're nicer than mine are right now.
Well, I know like the ones out at the farmer's property, I had 2 supers on each colony, and both colonies, because I had 2 colonies where they had them filled. I went to check them and pulled like an outer frame, and it was capped both sides, and I'm like, oh crap. So I was out of boxes, out of frames. So I had to do a trip to Greg's and picked up stuff, put another box on those, and that's been a week and a half for almost 2 weeks ago.
Well,
So
Tom was saying that you guys are having like the best. He said that some old timers in you guys' area said that it's the best honey crop they've had in the last 100 years.
I mean, I can believe it because like when I go out in my yard, I still see literally there are hundreds of bees on clover and all that stuff. I mean, we've had really good weather for it. So yeah.
Right.
So in a way, I'm not looking forward to getting out and checking everything just because I know it's going to end up leading into an entire day's work.
Someone is in my Brian, you might be able to answer this question. So the bottom is all filled up with faces, right? People that are in the chat. And one more person joined, but they're down to
You got to scroll.
I answered my own question here. Sorry. There you go. I found it. Even Charlie knew that. What the heck?
See? I know. Charlie, you got to set them straight.
Good evening, people.
Got 3 Canadians across the bottom there.
Charlie, I was hanging out with Jason Crook, Saturday?
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. He was...
What were you in Philly?
Mike's Hard Lemonade.
No, he had something he had to do, and it was only like 2.5 hours or so away from...
cracking.
So we just got talking, and he asked me, for his address, and then he looked, and he's like, I'm only going to be like 2.5 hours away. He's like, how far are you? I said, a little over 2 hours. He said, is Greg going to be there Saturday? So I didn't tell Greg that he was going to be popping in, and I made sure Greg was going to be there. I said, hey, are you going to be there? He said, oh yeah, the shop's going to be open, and he wasn't having a learning day, so it was just kind of a relaxed day. And I'm standing around talking to him, and I said, you know what, Greg? I said, I could really go for a donut right now. He said, buddy, if it was a
learning yard day, there'd be donuts and coffee and everything. And I said, too bad there's not a place around here that delivers donuts. And right then Jason was walking in with a dozen donuts. He said, donuts, donuts, and Greg was like, holy cow, what are you doing here? So it was good. It was good. The three of us got to, hang out. And I mean, we looked at a bunch of colonies and made up some nukes and did all kind of stuff. So it was fun. It was fun.
It was good.
Sounds like y'all had a good time.
Yeah, it was. It
That's
was
awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So a good day of fellowship, I'll say that. So
it's always fun when you get together with like-minded people, right?
Yeah,
Talk about your interests.
Yeah.
That's
when buddies visit the apiary. Buddy came today and visited for a little bit. He sat in the truck cab while I was grafting. It was about 5,000 degrees in there. He stuck it out.
Did you? Well, you didn't melt. That's a good thing.
I didn't melt. I nearly did.
It's like that here.
What you got, Philip?
Yeah, I know. What is that?
My daughter just made this. It's like a honey glazed salmon.
Oh,
look at that!
Nice.
And she makes jewelry. What's her website for her jewelry?
Yeah.
Bill?
I'm trying to get her to come. Yeah, she does have I have some of her jewelry on my website. Yeah. Sophie's Corner. Anyway, here she is. I finally talked her into coming over.
Hey, where do you sell your jewelry at?
Website.
All right, what's your website, Phil? I'll post it up in the chat.
It's rtxhoneybee.com. And the page is a little old though. It's back when she was like 13 when I made it, and I haven't updated it. But it's got the earrings on there.
I don't know why StreamYard's posting twice when I post, but okay. There you go. Twice as much fun.
So, Brian, it's okay to have the Canadian flag because it's just simply a holdover from Canada's birthday, which was Saturday. Canada's birthday is July 1st.
See there?
And, of course, I wish all of my American friends very happy 4th of July tomorrow.
Well, we appreciate it.
See, and I got it. I got that flag on Saturday. So I had
Perfect.
it just in time to celebrate your birthday.
How is the Ian doing? I haven't
Of course,
seen
Canada
him.
is only about 150 years old. We're baby.
Yeah.
So wait a minute. All right. So what was Canada before Canada? What was it considered then? I mean, because I'm sure it was still Canada, but it was just.
It was the British colony, right?
That is not an easy question to answer because, and I'm no great historian, but as I understand it, like France actually owned most of North America, United States and Canada, and sold a lot of it off. And
Charlie was there. Charlie, what happened?
Up in
that's
Vermont,
why
there they killed a bunch of those Indians or something up there.
and that's where the
French and
Louisiana
Indian
French
War
came from, and the Quebec French came from, because then the British owned a bunch, and yeah, there was wars and stuff, and they ended up trying to get along, and they made a country called Canada. And all of the different provinces, which you might think of as states, they're not really the same politically, but they joined Canada at very different times. One of the last entries to what we call Confederation was Newfoundland, and yeah, so and then you talk about your Constitution, the American Constitution. Okay, you guys are really good at American history. When was the American Constitution signed?
1776, supposedly.
1776, wasn't it?
11 years after that. It was ratified.
Canadian
I'm sorry, it was a ratified 11 years after that.
The Canadian Constitution was signed while I was in high school in 1983. So that's a little different. And
now-
before that, it was a monarchy. It was a Commonwealth monarchy, and now it's a constitutional monarchy.
Now the different provinces, you call them, are they like independent? I don't know. I mean, do you have one central location government that runs all those? I mean, it sounds like you say you go across the border from Manitoba to the Saskatchewan, and it sounds like you're going from one country to the next.
Well, Saskatchewan is a little different, but we try not to hold it against them. It's not the same politically as the difference between various states. It's not the same at all. I don't know enough about the difference to be able to speak to that, but I know it's not the same. There are provincial jurisdictions, there are federal jurisdictions. So yeah, Ottawa, the federal government sits in Ottawa, and we have our regional representatives, our members of parliament. So I have a member of parliament here in my area.
Right.
And I also have a member of the Legislative Assembly, which is the Manitoba government. So we have a provincial government, just like you'll have a
State government,
county government. We have a municipal government, and a city or a town might have a city mayor and government.
Right.
So there's all different levels, right?
So you got the same concept.
well,
yeah, the provinces have different powers than you would think a state has. Like your states have, you have Congress and you have senators from states and things like that. We don't have any of that.
Well, I mean, to put it into perspective, as far as the age of the countries, people like to throw up stuff that happened in histories of governments and whatnot, but there's churches in Germany that took longer to build than the United States has been a country, like 2 times, right? Like 500 years to build a church, and we've only been around for 200 and some odd years.
I think it was 1867 was Canada's
like founding day.
Like that's when Canada was Canada, I guess.
But yeah, I mean, it's we're babies. We're baby countries still compared to everybody else.
Yeah, Canada's really a baby country compared to the U.S. You guys have a lot longer history than we have in that way. I mean, there's stuff here that goes back to 1776. It's not an issue, but politically, it doesn't.
I'm about to sneeze. Sorry.
Bless you.
You can see the lab work. Sneeze and elbow. Good to go.
Anyway, happy 4th of July tomorrow, everybody. I'm sure. I was wondering, why is everybody on so late? Well, probably a lot of you aren't working tomorrow.
Don't have to work.
And of course, today was a day off because our holiday landed on a Saturday. So then, all of the day job people are off today in lieu. So it's a nice long weekend.
Well, we had to work.
I had Friday off.
I took off.
So it kind of gets busted up, doesn't it? Like that happens to us too. Gets busted up. July 1st falls on a Thursday, and you got to go back to work on Friday or something like that.
Right.
So it kind of sucks. So that's kind of what you're dealing with today, this year, isn't it? You're working. You get the weekend, then you work Monday and Tuesday off.
Let me see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Tomorrow is the day that the most beer is consumed in America, and it's equal to every day in Canada, I think.
Yeah, I suppose.
Did you see there's a new beer out of Vermont? With all of the Bud Light controversy that's going on.
Yeah.
It's called Bub, B-U-B Light, out of Vermont, and they're selling a metric ton of that I mean, they're like reordering and reordering and reordering. And it says, well, since you're not buying Bud, buy the Bub.
Wow.
So
that's crazy.
So, Brian, another question for you. You I think you said something about you were going to start doing some queens or something, didn't you? Take a course, maybe.
Well, so I was supposed to take a grafting class on Saturday, but I contacted the guy and I asked him if he was going to have other classes, and he said yeah. So I put that off and went down to Greg's. But yeah, I am I'm just going to tinker. I mean, it's not going to be anything other than just learning more beekeeping. That's it. So, and the only reason why, like, I signed up for it, I mean, I could go down to Greg's or I could go to somebody that I know, and but this class was 30 or $35, and it was like, I think it was like 4 hours, and then any of the grafts that you do, they said you get to keep any of your takes. So, if you do 5 or 6, whatever, however many take, you get to keep. And I thought, even if I got one to take for $30,
well, sure, there's a queen. Yeah.
Now, how late can you requeen where you're at, Brian, during the year?
I tried. So I had 2 colonies successfully requeen about mid-September, and they died in March. So they just didn't have enough population, because like that time, you really, at least here, you really have to have your colony set and really ramping up that winter population. And I thought that they were going to kind of make it, but it was just it was too cold, and they could, they ended up whittling down, and I kept watching them, and I knew, I'm like, man, if I get these things to make it to April, May, it would be amazing. And they both died. So
would you have maybe had a deficiency in drones at that time too? Maybe not quite as many drones as you should have.
It was weird, because like that was 2 years ago, I think it was. And like it was a weird like September, because we even had a couple people were saying their colonies were swarming. Like we had this weird like warm spell, and the colonies were just like going bonkers. And I had a couple that, they probably had swarmed, because I wasn't thinking about, at that time of the year, you're really not thinking about managing them for swarms. I'm looking at populations. I'm like, yeah, they're pretty decent, and I wasn't checking for cells and stuff like that. And then I go in there and I seen them like tearing them down, and I'm like, oh, darn it. And at that time of year, like to get mated queens from somebody here, you're not going to find mated queens in September in Ohio. And they ended up requeening.
Well,
but it was too much of like that couple week period where they had, where they basically went with no, new eggs being laid. They had no new brood. It killed them. So, but
I'm always excited to hear somebody, going to take it on and start doing it, because I think it's, to me, it's the pinnacle of my beekeeping season is the queen, and it can be challenging. I mean, if anybody's been following my saga this year, and actually the last couple of years, definitely be challenging. But you work out the little process quirks, and it's so rewarding. I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
Like my first year was I tried making queens was last year, and I didn't completely fail. I tried 60 grafts, 2 sets of 30, and only 2 takes worked. This year I tried again, and I ended up with 24 viable cells.
Nice.
These, 18 got mated. So it's a 75% success.
I felt really bad today. I went through my queenless mating nukes. They're just waiting for the queens to come out of the incubator, and I happened to look in them. I had left not enough frames in them, but now the honey flow is on. I was putting the frames in them that they need, because they were starting to punish me for leaving that extra space. And I looked in a couple of them, and there was emergency cells. So I went through all of them, and all of them was about, I don't know, 15 or 18. And You know what? I probably killed 50 queen cells today. I felt so bad. But, but that's emergency cells, right? That's not really what
Yeah.
you're looking for. But it's still, you pull it a frame and there's 4 reasonably good looking cells on it, and you think, should I be putting this in a mating nuke? Well, this is a mating nuke. It's for my grafting queens, so it's
Yeah.
got to be tough.
Yeah. I want to try and learn that, because for next year, I probably will just tinker, but like as far as like next year and like the number of colonies, I don't want to grow any more than what I have now. And I went through it today and counted, and I have 17 colonies, and they're all good. They're all like fantastic activity. For next year, like whatever comes out of the winter, I'll replace any losses, and then anything beyond that, I want to set up like some type of nuke bench where I can basically make up some nukes, and any of those I'll just sell them off. I want to control my numbers right there.
The question begs to be asked: what changed in your thought process from I'm only going to be at 10 to 20 or 17 or more?
He loves bees. That's it. He just loves them.
Because I remember last winter I was bugging Brian about, oh yeah, you gotta have 15 or 20 or something like. No,
stay in that 10.
And then next thing I noticed, okay.
Yeah, I was up to 21 for about a month there, and I sold 2 to one guy that he's a brand new beekeeper, and he got 2 really good colonies. So they're one of them. I mean, he's got a super on the one now already. It's built up that fast. So, but other ones I just did from those queen issues I had. Instead of trying to mess with it, just because I saw with the number of colonies I had, I couldn't dedicate the time with, when I'm in Cleveland with work and I could be up there for 4 or 5 days. If anything needed to be done, I couldn't do it because I was out of town working. So if I cut it back, even like 4 or 5 colonies, that's still, you figure the amount of time it takes into each colony. So I think where I'm at now, I was looking at it today, and those 17, I think I can manage perfectly fine. So, and then next year, if I do some nukes and sell those, I think that'll be fine, just because there will be that little time frame where, I'll be busy because, I want to make sure they're set up properly, and, whoever's getting them is getting a decent, little nuke from me. But after that, after they're gone, then I can just focus on the 17 again.
Yeah.
How many years, Brian, have you been at this?
7.
7. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you're close to what I've been. I think this is 9 for me, or some season 9 or something like that. So pretty similar time frame.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I found this year that once I had my colonies kind of all similar strengths, similar queens, that it became much more easy to manage them as a whole, right? I didn't have to constantly, this one's missing this one's missing that, and now I'm juggling and spending more time. Now it's like I go in, do they have eggs, brood, and larvae? Yep, they're doing good. Put them back together, done. And just keep moving. So
that's the difference between my home yard. Every colony is kind of doing something different, because it's convenient, it's close to the house, but I can go out here and I can work, but it's a huge pain in the backside because every colony is different. I go to my out yard, there's 40 of the same thing. It's just clones, right? Okay, time to super. Just take 40 boxes, boom, down the row, and then walk away, right?
Yeah. The one thing that I noticed, like this year, helped me out is I've been going through and little oddball like setups, like a couple of my 8 framers, I'm transitioning to 10. and I just want everything uniform.
Yep.
And that way, if I need a box, I just grab a box.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I've been
Yeah.
trying to get everything uniform. I've been getting all new lids that have the holes in them, so I can, eventually go to all bucket feeders.
Mhm.
And I'm just going to standardize everything, and just even like with the bucket feeders, I do have a couple top feeders that I'll keep, because that's just lift up a lid and check that top there. But I just want to kind of try and standardize everything, because days where, maybe I might only have an hour or two to go check them all, if it's just checking feed or something like that, if you have 10 different style feeders on 17 colonies, it's a PIA.
Right.
Mhm.
It is. So that's the one thing
Yep.
this year that I've been trying to do, is just standardize across the board.
Yep.
Well, I came into spring with 17, and I'm sitting at right around 60 right now. And but
Couldn't do
it's 60, but it's easier to work the 60 than it was to work 25 last year, because they were all, this queen's doing this queen's doing that, all over the place. Now it's like, well, they're not swarming. Do they have room? Do they have eggs, brood, and larvae? Good to go. Let them roll.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
But I do have hot bees. So
that standardization, is key, and I know all of the reasons. Every time I pick up a full medium of honey, I think that's it. I'm going mediums, because deeps just. But then every other day of the year, I think there's no way I'd use mediums, because of standardization and all of the freedom it gives me to have all of my equipment the same depth. I don't have to worry, is that a honey frame? Is that a brood frame? Even these little, go this way, these little 6-frame nukes on these pallets, once I get beyond the 6-frame nuke and get above that for honey, that's a 10-frame deep up there. There's nothing different about it. It's just 10-frame deeps on top of the nukes.
Yeah, I'd love to do that, but with the car I have, I have to use mediums, since I don't have a pickup yet.
So it's just a commentary on what you're saying, Brian, that you're right. Standardization it sounds like something, oh yeah, but no, standardization makes all the difference in the world.
Yeah.
Because I have noticed on your videos, you have a 10-frame box, you got an 8-frame box, even different. You've got a wooden box, you got an apiary, and different things. And I see that and I think, oh, I'd really hate that.
I've only got, let me see, I've got 2 8-frame colonies left, and then I've got 2 apiaries, and I've got 1 poly hive. And I was just using the equipment, but I've been, like, each trip I go down to Greg's, like, I'll buy boxes and switch a colony over. So it's just, that way I'm not sinking however many hundreds at a time. I go down there and I'll grab a couple things and come back up and swap stuff. So, but
that's what I've been doing. Changing
with them
my
apiaries,
over
are
to
they
wooden
hard
sixes.
to deal with?
No.
Or as far as like putting wooden supers on, something like that.
No. Well, and I've got, so the 2 apiaries that I have, Corhan, and Arda, the guys from Apame, they were good to me. Like, they cut me a heck of a deal on them. So I've got 2 supers for each one of my Apame. So, I can stack each one 4 boxes high. Now, if I need a 3rd box, if I have a colony that's going gangbusters, probably the only thing I would do at that point would be to harvest out a super and just throw it back on wet. But I've got 4 boxes for each apame. So
a wooden box doesn't really work on that?
I've heard that you can, and like, they sell latches. That way you can attach their latches onto a wooden box so you can, lock it all up. I don't know how well they fit together, though. I've never tried it, so I don't know.
What brand are your poly boxes?
B box.
Okay, so Paradise.
You got them from Blue Sky.
Yeah, that's the ones I
Blue
used.
Sky. Yeah.
And I found that I put wooden boxes on those, but I found that the frames in the B box sit a little higher in the box than a wooden box. So what
Oh,
that
interesting.
caused was it caused the frames in the brood chamber to be a lot closer to the bottom of the frames in the wooden box. And I don't know that it really caused a problem.
Mhm.
What it caused is it caused the queen excluder to stick to all the frames
Oh,
in the
okay.
poly box. But
Did
other
you
than
still-
that, I
Was there still like adequate bee space in between them? Or was it like so close that the bees couldn't even get through?
well they got through okay because the queen excluder was there
Mhm.
and but I just didn't feel like it was. That was a long time ago now, so I just remember that was what I didn't like
Yeah.
was the
And the fact that
close
wax moth
spacing
they
there.
eat all the way through them.
Yeah.
Well, they can.
For that poly hive that I have, I've got 2 supers for that as well. So like all of my hives that I have, I've got enough that I can put 2 supers on every single colony. So
Yeah.
But I found though, like this year, that's not enough. So
For you.
my stronger colonies,
Be like me, pulling, extracting, putting frames back on, pulling, extracting, putting frames back on.
I mean, I had them as high as 4 supers on the hive.
Yeah. Yeah. Years like this, I mean, I should know better because right when you think that you can sit back and you're like, okay, I got everything set, then the bees are like, hang on 1 second, hold our beer, we're going to show you something else.
Right.
Yeah. And that's I love learning about your area, all of you guys, because things are just a little different here.
Yeah.
There's nothing guaranteed, of course, but things are just a little more consistent that way. The seasons are a little more predictable.
Mhm.
There's no guarantee how much honey you're going to get, but it's going to be within a box one year to the next, usually.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, here it's been dismal this year because of the the only thing we had real mild for our area, mild temperatures, and then it got cold a little bit, and then it rained for like 2 weeks in a row straight, and it was like.
Then you had that freeze down in the deep south.
Yeah.
You had a freeze in an area that normally is always warm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we had an area that's more warmish this year, except for early spring. It was really cold. Well, all this year, I mean, we've had, usually it's months worth of humidity and stuff like that. And this year it's been like 75 degrees, low humidity. It was beautifully pleasant. I mean,
we went like 27 days, I think, here with no rain.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're where you're at and where I'm at. We're kind of like right on the same weather.
Similar. Yeah. 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 And I was,
we had such a dry spring that a lot of the flowering plants aren't really getting down to business right now. Literally, between winter and mid-June, we had an inch of rain.
Wow.
It never rained.
Wow.
It rained twice. It rained about the second week in May and about the second week in June, about a half an inch each time. And that's the only moisture we had since winter. So it's really showing up in the lack of flowers right now.
When we were talking to Fred the other day, he said what he saw, and I hadn't even thought about it, but he was, like Fred Dunn, he was spot on. He said what that like 4-week period with no rain did for us in this part of the country, where normally like we're every other day we're getting rain, throughout the spring. he said normally, like, you know, the bees will be out foraging and then you'll get rain and everything's all washed out. And, you know, what the bees have stored, they're tapping into that because they can't go out and forage because it's raining for a day or two. Right. And now when we had that couple week period, we had enough moisture before that to set everything up so that there was a decent flow. Well, the bees then for almost 4 weeks straight, literally they had no break. It was just gangbusters every single day. And I saw it. I mean, like those farm colonies, they're just, you know I got behind on them because they were starting to get, before I put the third box on each one of them, they were starting to get nectar bound a little bit. Mm-hmm. I go in there and, you know, I thought when I saw those boxes, I thought, oh, hell, I might as well I got to look at the top brood box. And I pulled an outer frame and I went right to the middle and pulled a frame. And it was probably about a quarter of, you know, that frame there was all getting backfilled with nectar. And I thought, son of a. Mm-hmm. So, but it just, yeah, this year, I'm going to be curious here on how much I get. So I'll probably get more than I ever have, but I mean, my number of colonies have gone up. So it only makes sense that I'll get more honey.
Instead of Brian 20 hives, it could be Brian 20 frame extractor.
Oh my God. Charlie, I'll be good with that 9 framer that I got.
I know you ain't. 9 frame is, you should have got at least a 12.
You know, thinking about it, in all honesty, thinking about it, I should have spent, I think it was like $200 or $300 more bucks, and I could have got the same one that like Mike Berry got. So
hey, Brian, go back and
really like that one.
Can y'all hear me? Hey, yeah. Hey, Brian, go back and listen to Fred Dunn question and answer videos, and many, many times he says, I never want more than 10 colonies. That's all I want.
Yeah. I've been at his place. I know how many colonies he has. He's just like me. You say you're going to stay around 10.
Yeah. Well, as far as like extractor, when I upgraded my extractor last year, my thing was I want something that at least will do 1 box of frames at a time.
Yeah.
You know, so that was kind of where I was looking at. And I'm like, yeah, but for a little bit more, I could get one that does 2 boxes of frames at a time. And then Charlie's like, well, if you're going to do that, you might as well get the 30 framer. So I bought the 30 frame, right?
Yeah.
So, and then
that's like mine's only a 33, man.
So.
It's not much bigger at all.
I've uncapped, while we've been on this show, I've uncapped 3 boxes.
Nice.
How many?
Yeah, and for my part,
3 boxes. So in 2 hours and 19 minutes, you've done 30 frames. In 2 hours and 19 minutes with my uncapper, I
365.
Who's got the trade?
I'm going to do it.
That's me.
A bunch of frames.
I gotta get out there, guys.
The one thing that,
see you, Spanky.
2 things that I got last year that really helped me. It was that new extractor. Now it's 9 frame, but it's still it does the job.
Yeah, but what did you have prior to that? Was it hand crank or what was it?
I had a little 3 frame electric eBay one that spun about half a mile an hour. So I'd put them in, and literally when I would turn it on, you know, full go, Charlie.
Yeah,
it was. I could spin my manual one faster. So I had to get a new extractor because if I used that 3 framer, it would have taken me a month to pull all my honey.
All right, so you got
and then you got a
colonies.
Uncapping tank, a pretty good size.
So you got 17 colonies. If you got 2 supers on each one, that's 34 boxes. That's 340 frames. So now,
hush up, Bob.
at least a 20 frame.
Math here: 340 frames divided by 9. Now you're having to run 38 cycles of your extractor.
That's if they're all filled.
Well, I mean, assuming that you're spinning out
Yeah.
two boxes. So that's still 38
Yeah,
cycles.
my first extractor was a 2-frame tangential, and after taking 12 hours to extract 60 frames, and I knew by then I wanted to do this full time. I said, "Screw this! I'm going for the biggest that will fit through my door." So I got the same one Bob has, like a 30 frame.
Nice.
I think the last year I used my 9-frame. I'm gonna say I extracted 6,000 pounds out of that little guy,
Man.
and that was a lot.
Yeah.
The next year I was using my 33, but I extracted 12,000 the next year in the 33, so it took me just as long.
Yeah.
Now, what do you got for uncapper, Brad? You got an automatic uncapper machine?
I do now. Yeah, I got an old Cowan automatic. It's kind of, it's almost more trouble than it's worth sometimes. The thing, I call it a Rube Goldberg uncapper. Because it's very entertaining to watch, but boy, you have to watch it. It's kind of like a jealous girlfriend, because you can set it to work. You can set it to work, and you can turn it on, and you sit there and watch it, and it's fine, and it does its job just right. And you watch it, and it's just perfect. Everything's going just perfect. Everything is fine, and something catches your eye, and you look away, and suddenly smash, crash, bam, jam. It's like, you get back here.
I've tore up 2 wooden frames in my new uncapper this year. So, one plastic and 1 wood. I'll say that.
Yeah, I saw that video, like the extractor going numb on your frame. That was pretty.
Yeah,
fun.
I did not see, and this is typical Bob, right? I didn't adjust shit. I just put the frames in, turned it on, and started cranking away. So I got what I got, right? So.
Yeah, no wonder it ate your frames.
But once I learned that it'll do that, I knew what to look out for as I was doing it, and it became much, much easier.
You could just blame the pain meds from the oral surgery.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Brian. So I bought this Lyson. It's basically like a silver, what do they call it? Silver Queen. But instead of having the motor that feeds them in, I have to hand crank them through the blades. And it got into town by tracking like 6 days. And I had to go have oral surgery and have 2 teeth cut out. And I said, it's going to show up tomorrow because I'm going to be all numbed up and dumbed up. And I got a text while I'm sitting here with all this gauze packed in my face that your package has arrived. Well, they just dropped it off in the driveway in this big wooden crate. Yeah. So I'm sitting there breaking the crate open and rolling it and putting it together. But it works pretty good. I like it. So
yeah.
Now it's a matter of I've got the same issue Brad has with the filtering issue. Little bits of wax getting into the honey, and so you pull it out of the extractor, and if you're using a sieve, well, the sieve's only like that deep, right? So
you can't strain out of an extractor.
So I just started doing the paint strainer in the bucket, fill the bucket up, pull the paint strainer up. Well, now you're holding the paint strainer, right? So is there a good way? There is. I just can't afford it right now. So, so what I ended up doing is pulling it up, letting it wait for a while, and then I would basically just take the whole thing and throw it back in my uncapping tank and let the rest of that honey drip into the bottom of the uncapping tank. Because when it's in the bottom, I can just run it through a sieve at that point. It's not.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I think this year it depends on what I sell on that. I think probably the only piece of equipment that I want to buy this year is a heated bottling tank.
I got the 18-gallon Lyson.
That'll make a big difference.
Yeah.
You mean you don't enjoy using a honey gate, filling a bottle with a scale on their head, and then close it, and then it drips all over? Yeah.
Yep.
I love that space, basically.
It's a pain in the neck. I got one of those blankets, like the warming, wrap
Blanket. Yeah.
that goes around the bucket. And I've noticed even just using
good.
that, it just makes such a huge difference. But then when you have a heated bucket, you make more of a mess because it flows. So that's one thing I want to get this year is I was looking, Bob, at the 18-gallon. I mean,
well, the one that I got is not water jacketed. I know a lot of people swear by the water jacketed, but I typically bottle everything that's in my bottling tank once it's heated up. I just bottle it up, and I'm able to sell it pretty quickly. But as I get more, then it might be a different issue, right? But it runs on 110, so I didn't have to go and upgrade to like a 220 or something like that. And then I got that pneumatic bottling valve, which you can always use the little, driplet valve or something like that. But yeah, it works well, man. I like it.
And ever using a darn bucket.
Brian, you need to raise the price of your honey. I was on your website today. Even Bob, I think, raised his to $12.
Mm-hmm.
There you go, Phil.
Look at that.
That's chunk honey.
Yeah.
It's pretty.
It's a good looking jar.
You're selling
How much
that?
you selling that for, Brian?
I don't even know how much. I only did 5 of these. They were on my website, and I only sold 1. So
you need to get that sign like I have. Local honey sold here. Pop it out in your yard, and then put Saturdays only, 10 to 2 or something like that.
Yeah, I am going to do a couple farmers markets this year, so I want to get my name out there and do a couple farmers markets, and everybody that buys a bottle of honey, I'm going to give them one of my cards that has the website on it. That way, and I'll just tell them, when you run out, just go on my website on there pick up. So, and then once I start to see some traffic on the website, then I'll taper back the markets.
Well, I see some people, like Morgan that's on here all the time. He has like $17 a pound.
Wow.
In Indiana, and he said they're getting it up there.
Wow.
I could try it. I don't know how much I would sell.
I have still seen the serious in this part of the country here in Ohio. Like every year, that's like a discussion on the Ohio beekeepers group and all that stuff. And still pretty much, I think overall, probably more than half or 3/4 of the people are still selling it for $10 a pound.
Well, the way I looked at that is when I up my price, that all the guys that have 2 hives that are trying to sell honey they're going to sell out quick.
Yeah.
And then you'll be the guy. You'll be the only show in town, and then you can kind of command the price a little bit.
Ed, what do you got?
Oh, this is a little setup I started doing with some of them where
nice.
It's got a honey spoon. It's got a label, little charm on it.
Nice.
And that's 6 ounces. That's 6 ounces.
Oh, okay.
Now, how much are you selling that jar for?
I've gotten 8 for it.
Wow.
So the jar with the dipper and all that, how much did that cost you?
I bought 25 of them for $26.
So a little over.
Yeah.
There's Jason.
Yeah.
Nice flag.
That's who I got.
It's a great flag. So I'm taking a page out of the Brian Coper book of phone management here.
Ed, your microphone's super sensitive, man.
Ed's?
Yeah.
You
hear a mouse walking across
it's around his neck or something. I think it is.
Yeah, it's around my neck.
So we can hear everything Whoa.
The
It
last video I
cuts out
posted up
whoever else is
video.
talking is every time there's a sound.
was filmed 100% on the phone. So
Is that what an S23?
S23 Ultra, yeah.
Yeah, I've got the 22, and I mean they do a heck of a good job.
Well, this year, I don't know if it's like that on your phone, but they will film at 8K 60 and 200 megapixel with 100 zoom lens on it too.
I don't think mine will film that.
Is that
the new stuff they came up with this year?
Is that an Apple phone or something else?
No, it's an Android, Samsung.
Okay. So what size unbottling tank, or not unbottling, uncapping tank you got, Brian?
Uh,
So what, about 3 foot long, 4 foot long? You got that from what, Blue Sky?
I did. Yeah, I got it from Blue Sky. Let me go on their site because
I got one here. You just got to come pick it up.
honey and let's
It's
see.
got a nice slicing knife to it too.
Yep, it's a complete uncapping and table package, 1400 pickup only.
It's still got the blue film on it too.
It does. I haven't peeled it off.
Charlie, if you go on their site, it's the one that was $379.95. It says Natura, whatever the heck that is, sideliner uncapping.
Natura. That's an Italian company.
Yeah. It says here holds about 10 frames. I've had like 14 in that thing.
Right. But as far as the bottling tank, I got a 25-gallon Max Ant with a no drip or a 1 drip valve. And I for years, I was like, why would you want to pay, at the time it was $1,200 for a 16-gallon one. And I'm like, I just can't see, I can use a 5-gallon bucket and get the same thing. But as time progresses, you get more and more and more honey. Now you need someplace to store it without it getting crystallized.
Yep.
And then your shoulders and whatever get to aching carrying them buckets around. And now I just walk out the back porch. It's on a scissors lift. I jack it up and it's ready to rock and roll. Just go, I can fill 20 pounds worth of honey in 5 minutes.
Yeah, that scissor lift is
and then take the other 5 minutes to label it and I'm done.
Oh man. I wish.
And it's I set it between 90 to or 89 to 98 degrees, something like that. It holds it right there.
Wow.
That's great. It's like now after you get it, and then it's like, okay, now I understand why you want one of these things. It just saves you so much time.
Yeah.
And aggravation more so than anything else.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll get there. I mean, that'll probably be.
Find yourself an old refrigerator or a freezer, or refrigerators, but an upright freezer or a refrigerator. I can put 3 5-gallon pails of honey in there, and put yourself a heat lamp with a Inkbird controller.
Yeah.
Keep it about 105 to 110 degrees. Now the honey will be around 95 degrees at 110, and it's huge difference about keeping it from crystallizing and stuff like that. And you can buy the controller and the light bulb for less than $100. Let's say $80.
Yeah.
You get the stuff off of Amazon, you're done.
Yeah.
Been working. I mean, I keep 3 buckets down there. I keep the stuff in the tank, so it's prepped for the tank.
Oh.
I got 15 gallons in my tank and 10 gallons outside.
Well, I got the bucket sitting here in the house. Well, it'll crystallize. It'll get kind of like
yep. All mine does.
It'll get to the point of what do you call it? Applesauce, kind of thick and real crystallizedly. You put it in that hot box. You get rid of that first, and then throw it into your.
Are you drinking?
Throw it into your bottling tank. Now, Jason there, he's got a 42-gallon, just like mine, except mine is 25.
There's a story.
Mr. Crook.
Is that Pellegrino?
I don't know.
See, Jason just takes stuff to a whole another level. I'm lucky if I drink Aquafina. Say Walmart brand on it. It's probably not getting considered. Probably not getting considered.
Oh,
Yeah.
Ozark Trail water. Yeah, we're full.
Hey, Jason. Jason.
No.
Oh.
Is
That's
that
all.
2.0?
Huh?
2.0?
To be discussed at a later date.
You just dropped a little nugget. That's it. You didn't see the hashtag Brian35 on there?
I saw it. I'm not even gonna respond to that.
It's gonna happen. Next year he's gonna be like, "Damn it, I'm just doing 50," and then the year after that he's like, "I'm just retiring, working bees."
Look away, Brian. Look away.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna. Can't even respond to that. So
I actually can't believe I'm at 11.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah, it does get easier with practice, and what Bob said earlier, once they're all at the same strength, it makes it kind of a joke.
Yeah,
Alex, you're right. It's all chicken math at that point. Once you hit like 50 or 60, it's all chicken math.
Yeah.
I mean, but could I go through my colonies quick and just, when you go in and you're going to do your inspections, you got a plan, and in your head what you need to get done. What I like to do though is I like to sit there and pop as many frames, and I like to look at my queens, and I love looking at the patterns and all that stuff, where if I keep expanding, I've taken that luxury away.
See, I've done just the opposite.
Right.
This year, I went the other route. I was doing that, and I find, and I know I'll probably be crucified for this, but I found that I screwed up more things. The more times I went in it, the more stuff that I looked at, and I found that it was easier this year to check them if they had eggs, brood, and larvae, close them up, let them go.
Yeah.
And and let the bees be the bees, and it made my life easier as a beekeeper. And then I was only dealing with maybe a few colonies that were struggling,
Right. Yeah, and that's what I told the guy that got those colonies from me. That's what I told him, because he, I had told him when he went and did an inspection on the first one, if he wanted me to come on up just to, kind of stand by, and I was going to let him do all the work, and I would just tell him, okay, this is what you're looking at if he had questions. And he went through it, and he was nervous because he couldn't find the queen. And I said, well, what else did you see? I said, did you see eggs? He said, yeah. I said, you see larvae? Yeah. I said, you don't have to see the queen, So, but I like looking at them.
I do too. I like to look at them.
So,
but if you saw the bees I had today, Jason's like, send me all those queens, those mean queens. they are pretty bad. So
I'm with you, Jason, or Jason, with Brian. I'm with you, Brian, when you said about wanting to look at every frame and enjoy it. I do miss that, because sometimes it's just I got 100 of these things to get through, and you pop a lid and you drag back the cover and you eyeball what you need to see, and you're on to the next one. And that's work. That's not fun. I remember, and my fear more than having too many colonies is not having enough, because I remember my first year I had like 11 colonies or something. I'd go out there and I'd do my work, and then I'd be done my work thinking, I'm not done playing bees, but I'm out of colonies. And I felt really bad. So my fear is not having enough.
Yeah. I have enough with 17.
He said that at 10.
And
though.
some days, I love
Yeah.
sitting. Like the other day, I sat down and I equalized all my nukes. It took me a couple hours.
Yeah.
And that was really great because I went through frame by frame every one of those colonies. And
Yeah.
it was really nice. It was just a good old fashioned beekeeping day.
I enjoy that because it just, even if I take a half an hour to go through one colony, just kind of, piddle farting around, I enjoy that. It's just, everybody here, you all know, you get in there and you're just looking at the bees and the smells and everything. That's what I enjoy. So that's the only reason why I stay like with the numbers that I'm at. Just, I don't want to take that away where I have to become like a production.
Hey,
Yeah.
Brad, what did you do before bees?
Huh?
I'm asking Brad what he did before he started doing bees full time.
Oh, how much time you got? Immediately before, I was in the IT industry for 20 years. I was building computer telephony and computer global networks, stuff like that.
Wow.
So basic geek stuff.
All right.
Besides Brian, but you can stay at the numbers you have for however you want. And if one day you decide you want to quit your job and go be full time, you still can. There's no hurry.
Oh yeah.
Enjoy yourself. That's the important part.
Yeah. No, and Alex, yeah, you hit it nail right on the head because I just enjoy it. If the day came that, whenever I do retire, that'll probably be like what. Oh, the dog just heard some fireworks, but that'll probably be what takes up like a considerable amount of my time is farting around with bees.
And quail.
Well, and quail, yeah. The quail though, they're easy. They, that's 15
I should have
minutes.
had you bring some eggs when I saw you Saturday.
Yeah, it's 15 minutes a day, literally. I walk out how I have it set up, and it's 2 cups of food in their feeders. I drag the hose over and fill the 5-gallon bucket. I collect a dish of eggs, and 15-20 minutes done.
How often do they require cleaning, like for all the
Well,
manure?
so that's kind of like a loaded question because it depends on your tolerance. If you want it so there's absolutely no flies, no smell, no, you don't want it to build up their manure. You could, like with the trays that I have, because I have big, huge plastic trays under each cage that I put pine chips on. That way it just kind of helps with the smell. I found that I change that twice a week and it's kind of okay, but I could probably do it 3 times a week and it would be a little better, but it really hasn't gotten bad yet. Now, we haven't gotten into like the real brutal days of the summer though, so we'll see there, like when we get the sun really baking on that quail manure, I might go to changing it 3 times a week. It just depends.
So are these meat birds or what are they?
Both. Yeah, both. We get
I watch there's a couple out in Missouri that raises them.
Oh.
And all. Or they do other things, plants and cattle, but he's into, I think it's quail.
Yeah. They're not.
So I'm curious how many quail eggs you need for an omelet.
It's 3 quail eggs to every chicken.
Okay, so 9.
Yeah. Yeah, and like we get about 2 dozen a day now. Now today we got 25, so that's the most that we've ever gotten. But we're for like 4 or 5 days in a row. Then we got 24. Then we got 22. Now today we got 25. So they're laying almost 2 dozen a day. So and it's just there's only 2 of us here that'll eat them. So that builds up fast.
Is the taste noticeably different from chicken eggs?
To me, they taste more rich.
Kind of like a duck egg.
Oh, yeah.
I never had anything besides chicken egg, so that's why I'm asking.
Yeah.
Mhm.
To me, they taste more rich just because if you look at
It's like a duck egg.
Yeah, if you look at the quail egg, like proportional, there's more yolk for like the white part of the egg, so it has more of a rich flavor. And like when I hard boil them, I love those things because they're so small. I'll literally open up the fridge, open up a container, and I'll grab 2 or 3 quail eggs, and you just pop one in your mouth, and I mean
Nice.
it's like a snack.
Have you pickled any of them yet?
I was just thinking that. You need to pickle those.
I did a pint of pickled, and I did it in the beet juice and that, and they came out good. So I'm gonna
Nice.
do another pint of spicy pickled where I use just like vinegars and that, no beet juice, and then I'm gonna do with jalapeno rings in it.
If you like spicy food, you should try steeping habaneros and ghost peppers in honey. It comes out really good.
I got bags of pepper if you need them, Brian. Dehydrated peppers.
You have the Reapers, don't you?
I got Reapers. I got Ghosts. I got you name it. I got bags of them.
We've got jalapenos in the garden. I'll probably pick up. I'll only need like one. I think the recipe that I have, it calls for 1 jalapeno when you cut it into rings. But now I had a jar of spicy pickled quail eggs from the Amish, and they were killer, literally killer. Oh my gosh!
Be careful. If you put them fresh in your honey, you might need to dry your honey out. I made that mistake on my first try, and I had to put the honey in a large skillet with a box fan on top for 2 days for it to drop back down to 16%.
Wow.
Yeah, I refrigerate the honey after I put peppers in it, just to take, account for the higher moisture.
Jason, go ahead and eat that.
You give me $100, I'll eat it. Maybe more.
I'll send you a box.
Okay, how many of us are there? We could take up a collection and get him to eat that.
So what I do when I make the hot honey is I use fresh peppers. Not the first batch that you got that exploded at Greg's. But I took the smaller jar, like a half gallon, and then and filled it with honey and peppers, and
Some peppers rolling in there.
And then after the month, I pulled it out and mixed it with more honey to draw the moisture content back down. And it came out really good.
That's some good stuff. Sweet heat.
My nephew went to Buc-ee's. Got me some ghost pepper jerky.
I gotta go to a Buc-ee's. My kids are bugging me to go to Buc-ee's. I don't know why.
So how's the buckwheat? Buckwheat.
I'll do a video tomorrow on it, but it is growing. And I haven't had to shoot any deer yet, even though I saw one there, Jason. Out back. It was looking at me like,
down. You got to fence it off or they'll mow it down. Trust me, I did that 2 years ago. I planted so much buckwheat because I wanted that dark fall crop to kind of see if I could get something. And I literally came out after I was so excited the night before. I was like, oh, look, they're all budding out. They're all starting to bloom. And we were tiny blooms across the whole patch. I probably had a quarter of an acre. And I came out the next day and half of that quarter of an acre gone. And then the next day, the rest of it gone. In like 2 days, they mowed all the blooms off down to the stalk.
That's probably what'll happen to mine.
I mean, I have a lot of deer here. There, too. I'm in an open area, so I have a lot of deer. So, oh, that was like motor oil.
That's the buckwheat.
Hey,
You're muted, Brian.
I've never done this before. No, I got this from last year from Jarrett Beehive Homestead.
Have you tasted it?
Well, I've had.
I don't particularly care for it that much, but my wife likes it.
I love it. Buckwheat honey, I love it. Love it.
This is 65-year-old honey.
that's some big stuff too.
Someone gave it to me as a gift because they knew I liked honey. It's
Wow.
65 years old.
This one's only 20 years old. It's from 2001. It was a gift from a family member.
Did
Gave
it?
me a full 5-gallon pail.
And it didn't crystallize?
Yes, it did crystallize. I just melted it back down. I have 3 of these left.
That's awesome.
Woo. Well, guys, it's 11:23.
Yeah.
About to turn back into a pumpkin.
Yeah, I'm gonna turn into a pumpkin here soon.
I'm running that line between staying on too long and taking an ass whooping from the wife, or getting off and keeping her happy.
Happy wife, happy life.
Mm-hmm. Because I have to deal with her all day tomorrow because I'm off work.
I'm probably gonna have in a second.
So anyway, guys, I'm gonna stop the live stream. But if you guys want to hang around in the VIP room, please do so. And we'll see you guys after. Later.
I'll see y'all.
Brady Bunch.